See that? Knocked it all out and broke the snot out of it. Wow. Knocked the sensor off the ceiling for the fire. That hell's pretty big. Look at this. In the bathroom.
I'll be damned, came right through the skylight, huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Punched a hole in it. Yeah.
At this point, we started thinking about how we were going to do repairs. I didn't want that water to continue to come through the skylight and turn my bathroom into a wet room. So we devised a funnel with gray 100-mile-an-hour tape and trash sacks. So the water coming through that skylight would be funneled over to the shower stall, and that certainly made a difference. But we continued with the survey on the inside, and then eventually I went outside and decided to survey the roof. I had to wait until it stopped raining and stopped hailing. I had to wait for the roof to get a bit dry. I wouldn't want to slip and fall off that thing, but you'll see that we did devise a solution for the damage to the roof, which was quite extensive.
But it's exciting, no doubt about it. Dan and I are out here looking around, and we realize there's water on the dash and under that window and along that window and down on the floor underneath. We don't see any damage, but maybe a sill or something got knocked loose by all of that. We don't see anything up above. It's leaking though. We see it leaking off of the window frame up there where he's checking it now.
Yeah, I got no water up above.
Still looking around, trying to discover what all's happened. It looks like it's coming in off of that track and dripping down along that wall and on the dash. We're wiping it up as we go. I haven't been outside to look around yet, but I just opened the door and you can see that this topper has been torn. So it's obviously damaged by the storm and the hail that came through. Don't know about the rest of the toppers. We'll go out and check them as soon as it stops raining. You see some of that hail down there on the ground is golf size or larger. So pretty powerful storm. Okay. Put the lights back up. They seem to go up just fine. I haven't found any other places where it's leaking other than in the bathroom where that skylight broke out completely and broke the fan and shattered the screen, and it's now got water coming in. Of course, we're funneling the water into the bathroom stall, into the shower stall, so that it'll drain down into the gray water tank. And I've got a couple of lenses that I still haven't replaced. I've got them here, and I think they'll just easily be placed back on. But kind of exciting. Just going around checking the cleaning up and drying things off, and as I go in here I realize that I've even got hail crashed through and is on the sink top, so I'm about to dry all that off, and hopefully I can just put that lens cover back over the top of that light emitting diode. But very violent. All of this stayed dry. Mirrors intact. All of that's okay. It just came through that skylight. That got the worst of it. Interesting. Very interesting.
So I thought I would, once it stopped raining, the top was still wet. Top of the motorhome was still wet. But I think I'd take the drone back up and use it for a quick survey. I thought it would be effective. But I really couldn't get close to the roof. Well, I could get close to the roof, but I felt like I would risk tipping the drone over and hooking it up on a amateur radio antenna or something else. And so you can see the top of the roof looks fine, other than that one skylight is broken out, and that left me feeling pretty good. When you put that on a large screen view, though, you start seeing that the toppers have holes in them, and you start seeing marks in the roof, which ultimately proved to be cracks in the fiberglass. If it breaks the fiberglass, I'm guessing it has to break the plywood underneath the fiberglass. And you can see on some of the holes, I'll show you here in a little bit, that that was the case. You can just see it completely shattered the plywood underneath the fiberglass. So every time you have a crack in the fiberglass, you got to assume that it also broke the board underneath, which makes sense. I also discovered that each of those round vent pipes had the plastic knocked off or broken, or both. And the dark skylight that sits above the shower stall, it's a double thickness. It's an insulated skylight, not designed to open. It's rigid, but it's cracked along one side, and so that was damaged as well. Here in another hour or so, I'll get up on the roof with you can see the marks in the topper. I'll get up on the roof with the camera on my smartphone and take still pictures of each of the cracks or collection of cracks. And then I think the plan is to use gray 100-mile-an-hour tape and run a patch over the top of each one of the holes so that nothing will leak through. So you'll see that here in just a little bit. The drone flight has no audio, so it's probably a good time to provide narration to let you know what's going on. We walked around the yard, and the Fiat's windshield was broken, and the windshield on my cousin Linda's truck was broken. On my cousin David's truck was broken. On Dan's truck, it was, I say broken, they're fractured, so they have to be replaced, but they did not break completely out. And then some of his farm equipment had the same kind of damage. If they had real vertical windows, it was okay, but if they had flat windows facing towards the storm, like the windshield on that Fiat there, that gray Fiat, that got broken in something like 8 different places. You can see a spider web where it hit and cracked the window. They looked at the roof of the house, and it's got dents in it, but doesn't seem to have any real damage, and looks like it's pretty much dried out. So come down here and steer it over towards the sidewalk and see if I can't land on that sidewalk as a safe place to land before I climb up on the motorhome, like I say, in about an hour, and start surveying the damage a little bit further. Okay, so now this is the first still photograph of the top of the camper, and you can see the skylight was broken out, and then the hailstones, pretty big impact, cracking through the roof in multiple places, and it's one of the smaller holes. Another bigger one, you can see the fiberglass and the plywood broken. This one you can see edge of the plywood broken under the fiberglass. TV antenna broken. 2 strikes, again, broke the plywood underneath. There's one that broke the fiberglass. You can see over to the right and to the center and lower left, also broken. Here's the topper shattered, multiple puncture holes throughout it. You can see the stretch marks on the other ones. I think there's another hole on one of the other ones, but they all got pretty well torn up. More new breaks in the fiberglass roof, another break in the fiberglass roof, and 2 of them together. Once in a while I missed realizing that there was a break. There's 2 more. Snapped through the fiberglass and plywood. 2 more on that photograph, and then another shot of the topper above the large slide out on the passenger side. More breakout in the roof, more massive breakout in the roof. Probably took more than 1 hit there. One of the topper, the caps on the drain pipe broken. Another break through the roof. 2 more hits on the roof, and there's the crack in the skylight above the shower stall. And then back to that one. That may be a repeat, and I may be starting over. So yeah, so I'll just delete those after that point. Well, I did the delete as planned, which means the audio didn't quite track what you were seeing, but there's no reason to show that same damage twice. Got up on the roof. It turned into just a beautiful day. I took a couple of photographs from up on top of the roof of the motorhome of the area, and now I'm showing shots of the patch repair that I did to protect us from that hailstorm of June 29th, 2018.